What's up, guys? Jonathan Canales here from the Florida Panthers Warriors, number 24, number 19 on Team Central America. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. My family's from El Salvador, and this is my story.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicholas Cruz, and I'm joined today with Johnny Canales, who is with the Panthers Warrior, number 24, and with the El Salvadorian team, or for Central America, for the Latin American Cup, number 19. Johnny, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
How you feeling?
Good, man. Happy to be here.
Thank you. You know, Johnny, throughout your time playing hockey throughout the years, we have seen South Florida sports have grown. For you, what was it like playing in a youth and playing hockey growing up? What was that like?
Well, it definitely wasn't as big when I was a kid. Roller was pretty big. Ice was getting there, but now it just took a whole different level. We have the War Memorial open up, so
Right.
Other than that, it's just growing down here, especially with the Panthers doing pretty well this year. It's growing.
And let's talk about something that's really important to you. Is you yourself, you served in the U.S. military.
Right.
In what branch did you serve?
I was in the United States Army.
United States Army. And
Yep.
how many years did you do it for?
I did 6 years in the South Carolina National Guard as an infantryman, and yeah.
So when you're doing service and you see what the Panthers have done, the Florida Panthers are very big on, the heroes among us, things
Yeah.
like that. And they've even created, you guys have created programs such as the Panthers Warriors.
Right.
What does that mean to you to be part of that program and to be with fellow members that have served and fellow veterans?
I love it. I think it's a great thing to do. I love seeing that every Panther game at home. They do a Hero Among Us. And the Warrior organization just does a great job of reaching out to the veteran community and recruiting players, even guys that never played hockey in their life. They see the program and they like, how do I get involved? And the first thing is meet one of us. Talk to us about the program, and next thing you know, we'll help you get the gear, and you're out here playing hockey. So it doesn't matter what skill level you're at. The Warrior program itself just wants you to be a part of the program and play hockey. And it's a great family, so that's what it's about.
When we talk about family, your family heritage, that's something that's really big to you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? That your mom is from El Salvador and you being able to represent Central America?
Yeah, so with me being Hispanic, Salvadoran, obviously, my mom was born and raised out there. So having my family seeing this, they're like, we never heard of hockey before.
Right.
So growing up down here playing hockey was that's not a popular sport, especially in South Florida when I was a kid. And my family loves it. They're like, you're representing, Central America, and my teammates as well. So it's like, we're all, doing this, together, making a name for Central America. We did pretty well last tournament. So now this year we're definitely going to come back and, hopefully win a thing. So,
Let's talk about the last tournament that you had playing for Central America.
right.
When you think about representing a country, you did it for, obviously with your time in the United States military, and then you did it for Central America. Do you get the same pride and emotion that you feel when you step on the ice? Is the same thing as when you were serving during the military?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're out here to win.
Right.
You definitely want to go out there, play hockey, win, and get it over with. You want to go out there, and either it's making a great play or scoring a goal. That's what you want to do, and you definitely want to make a difference every shift you're on the ice. And go after it. So.
I think if we talk about, of course, the United States military and during the time they served, one of the key things is about having valor, discipline.
Right.
How do you take that and transfer that to on the ice when you play for Central America?
Well, definitely got to have discipline. You know, sometimes things are not going to go your way. And even if you have a bad loss, you know, you got to, you know, move past that and be able to like wake up the next day or go into the next game and be like, hey, like today is a new day. We're going to go into this game with a different attitude and win. So you got to have a winner's mentality for sure. And, you know, some of these teams, they come down here, you know, to make a name for themselves as well. And they want to win. So, yeah.
I think let's talk a little bit about your youth for a moment, going back to what you said from the beginning.
Okay.
When you said you're seeing the game grow, right? And that's a big thing here with the Latin American Cup. We want to see the game grow.
Yeah.
Even for yourself, let's say, for your family, they said, we even know, like, Central
Yeah.
America had a team. And
Yeah,
you were,
exactly.
even you two, like, how did you hear about the Central American team? And then we're going to tie back to the original question here in a moment.
So how I heard about this was I was just approached. You know, they were like,
Right.
hey, like, where are you from? And I was like, I'm Salvadorian. I mean, but I was born and raised down here in South Florida. And they're like, hey, there's this Latin Cup tournament coming up. You know, I'm going to give you this guy's contact info. He has the Central American team who wants to start up. And here I am. So, yeah, I mean, I went and met some of the guys that live down here because not everyone lives in South Florida. So we had guys that flew in from California, Canada, Boston area, and I believe New York too. So we brought guys from all over, and we all came down here and played.
So when we're touching ourselves back to this beginning question of youth and seeing the game grow, especially whether it be in South Florida or
Right.
around us, especially for those myself who's Colombian, where we don't see things like this in Latin American countries. We're always seeing like soccer, which is a big
Yeah.
number one sport.
Yeah.
So for the youth to grow and to see this become a bigger tournament as we're seeing more teams enter, like last year we had, I think, about 30 to 40 teams plus. We
Yeah.
had teams, let's say, from like Egypt, Israel,
Yeah.
Middle Eastern teams, or teams of out besides Central America is so important, especially for the young kids,
Yeah.
where for a sport like hockey, where we're continuing growing the game. So for you to see that, I think it must be pretty huge. I mean, that feeling must be something that is like, this is incredible to see, because we have youth teams that come out.
Right.
But even for yourself, I mean, I want you to think for a moment here. Did you have anybody that inspired you to play hockey that was Hispanic heritage growing up? Can you name one?
Honestly, no, I couldn't.
Right.
But the person that did inspire me to play hockey was my dad. You know, he grew up playing in New York, and when I was growing up, I saw his stick in the garage, and I was like, what is that? And I grabbed it, and then from there, it just took off. But yeah, so I can honestly say my dad was definitely the one that got me into the sport and, helped me get to where I'm at now. So.
And now that you translated a lot of that success to getting ready for the next tournament coming up, of course, with the Memorial Cup coming up,
Yeah.
very short time coming up. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're excited and getting prepared
Very
for that.
excited, yeah.
So what is the conversation like with you and the team right now as you guys are getting prepared for the Memorial Cup?
Right now it's just getting ready. Hopefully everyone is ready to come down here and and compete. It's not going to be easy, but it'll definitely be something special because it's being held here in our home turf. So we're just definitely going to make a big name for ourselves, and we're definitely going to go out there and win.
And when you guys are going to compete in this cup and after, do you see this as a good practice to get prepared for the Latin American Cup as well?
Definitely, especially at a high level. You're going to be playing against a lot of good guys. They know the game. It's going to be fast paced. So this is definitely a good, stepping stone as to what's going to come later down. And especially when you're not playing in these tournaments, times where you're playing beer league or anywhere else. So, yeah.
So now that we're getting closer to the Latin American Cup as well, and you told us a little about your story, you told us a lot about your heritage and how your family reacts to this.
Right.
So if you had to give a message, and let's look at the camera right here, and if you can give a message to someone that might be with Spanish heritage, or that might be of those who cannot financially afford hockey, what is your message to them? What are words that you can give them to inspire them to continue to pursue hockey?
Honestly, hockey is for everybody. I don't care where you're from or what your background is. This sport is for everybody. You can come out here, put on a pair of skates, and make it to the highest level that you can. And that's what I have to say. Honestly, I don't care who you are or where you're from, low income, high income. I mean, I wasn't privileged growing up, and hockey wasn't, financially, the greatest sport to be in because it's expensive, with gear and sticks and ice time and league costs. But, I think the rinks are doing a pretty good job of, being able to help kids out to get into the sport, especially with some of the pros. I know Anthony Duclair has a foundation going and stuff, and trying to get kids involved. So yeah.
Well, Johnny, I thank you for your time. Thank you for your inspiring words, and especially as we get ready for the Latin American Cup and the Memorial Cup coming up all soon. You can find it on the information down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us for more content. Johnny, we thank you so much for joining me
Thanks
today.
for having me.